Good evening, my name is Justin Ashworth, and I'm here to talk to you today about organ donation. Imagine you're a small child who's been dealing with a kidney disease for about a year and a half. You're on the verge of death. Finally, your parents and doctors receive word that an eligible donor has passed away in a motorcycle accident. The organ is rushed over from a local hospital, and after a successful surgery, you finally begin your road to recovery. Some of the things I'm going to talk about today include some statistics about organ donation, things you need to know about becoming an organ donor, and some success stories from both donors and recipients. We'll begin with some statistics about donation from DonateLife.net. In 2013, there were over 14,000 donors, which contributed over almost 29,000 organs. This number is a little bit lower than I expected it to be, but I have a feeling it comes down to people not knowing what they need to do to become donors and organ compatibility, blood types and such. Another interesting fact was in 2013 there was 47,000 corneas transplanted. This number was kind of interesting to me because I didn't know that was such a common transplant. Next, out of the over 122,000 people on the list, about 2,100 of those are pediatric patients. I kind of thought that number would be higher, but thankfully it's not. Approximately every 10 minutes, another name goes on the list, which isn't that surprising considering all the things that could drive an organ donation, such as cancer or hepatitis or diabetes or any other number of things. According to Donate Life's research, approximately 90% of America supports organ donation, but only 30% know the steps you need to take to become an organ donor. Another interesting fact I found when I was on the site was out of the 122,000 that are currently awaiting organs, an overwhelming 82% of them are currently waiting on kidneys, with livers being a very distant second. Now we talked about a few statistics involving organ donation. We'll talk about some of the things you need to know about becoming a donor from organdonor.gov. Any person of any age can be a donor. It's about your health, not about your age. So if you take care of yourself and you're well into your 50s, you still might be able to donate to someone who's very young, as long as you've taken care of your body. But you should register to become a donor regardless of what you're doing or how you live or anything you have going on, because the decision about your viability of your organs isn't made until your death. Then they'll look at it and see, is this something that we can use? Something else that you should know is that donation may be okay even with pre-existing medical conditions. So don't rule yourself out because you have some health problems. You might still be able to help somebody out with it. To become a donor is pretty easy. You should register with your state's donor registry if there is one. That's state by state, of course. The other thing you can do is let me know on your driver's license or military ID or any other form of identification you might have. The other thing that you should do with that when you become an organ donor is let your family know. Make sure they understand your intentions and that you want to help people. Don't let it come down to a debate between the hospital and your next of kin because you didn't let your family know, yes, I want to be an organ donor. Don't let it become a debate that holds the process up. Now we talked about some of the things you need to know about becoming an organ donor. We'll talk about a few success stories from donation for both organs and donors and recipients from donorrecovery.org. In summer 2013, Richard Perez required a liver because of complications from hepatitis C. He spent 10 months on the waiting list. Finally received from Strong Memorial Hospital, otherwise known as the University of Rochester Medical Center. He goes on to say that because of a decision somebody made 10 years ago, he's now able to watch his son graduate college and help him plan his wedding. Richard became one of 30 people to ride the Donate Life float at the 2014 Rose Bowl Parade in Pasadena, California on New Year's Day. Next is 22-year-old Katie Milano, who was killed in a car accident and then became an organ donor. She donated her liver, both of her kidneys, and her pancreas. Her liver went to a man in New York. One of her kidneys went to a 13-year-old girl, and the other kidney and her pancreas went to Gregory Krause of Byron, New York. Byron went on to meet Katie's parents on the 5th anniversary of her death. But he says prior to the transplant, he had uncontrolled diabetes for 20 years. It was a constant battle with his blood sugar, which he goes on to say was a mostly losing effort. Noni Bergenson was a recipient who was near death when she got her call for her kidney. She was diagnosed with hepatitis C in 1995 and finally received her transplant in late 2012. Her transplant was led by Dr. Juan Roca. Surgery began at 9 p.m. and ended well into the next morning. Although her transplant was successful, she spent the next 3 weeks in hospital battling a fluid buildup. Now that we've talked about a few success stories from donation, I'd like to wrap this up. Some of the things we talked about today include some statistics about organ donation, things you need to know about becoming an organ donor, and a few success stories from both recipients and a donor. I would encourage everyone to become an organ donor because it saves lives, maybe years one day. Thank you, and have a nice day.